Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today I'm doing a quick flip through of this Dina Wakley 6x6 journal. They've only got about 16-20 pages in them, so they're really quick to finish. So I tend to get through them quite quickly because I tend to do a lot of double spreads. So with the front cover, I just altered it. I've used pieces that I've cut out of the paper in here from a previous journal, stuck them down, coated the whole thing with black gesso, and then just rubbed some coloured waxes, so gold and some of the Finnabair ruby, I think, over the top, and then just stuck down a chipboard. So if you cut anything out of your journal, keep it and you can use it to decorate your front journal. It looks really cool, and because the paper is so thick, you just get this beautiful embossed design on your journal. So this is my first pages. This technique I've done before on my channel. It's just cut out a picture from a magazine and just went nuts with my Posca paint pens. Did a bit of a unicorn pattern, rainbow pattern. This is the Snarky Bat Chat from Delusions. And then I decided I wanted to go over the image of the person themselves and decorated that up with the Posca paint pens as well. It's a great sort of mindless activity, but it's lots of fun to do and so bright and cheerful. This is just one of my regular collages I do when I'm a bit stuck and again I'm not sure what to do. I just put down gel medium and start sticking stuff over the top. I love this effect of sticking gold foil. So it's just the regular heat foil that you use. But when the gel medium is a little bit tacky, I just press it down with the foil down and pull it off, and you get the foil left in the background. Just gives a nice little bit of bling to your page. I've got a video of this and it's been up recently on my channel. It's a really simple page. It's basically three things. I painted the background blues. This is a torn piece of paper from the Dina Wakley Collage Collective, and a silhouette from Scrap FX, and then just splattered the background with some white acrylic ink to get that sort of galaxy bit. And the Doctor Who nerd in me thought it kind of looked like a rip in the time-space continuum, so I sort of, with a white Stabilo oil pencil, sort of created that rip effect in it. This is a page I have done, or a technique I've done again on my channel. You'll see similar videos to this, and it was just playing with some new materials I had. I was teaching an art class for my colleagues at school, how to do some mic making and some abstract work with our kids. So I wanted to have a bit of a practice myself. I like to have a practice go of what I'm going to do before I teach it, if I haven't done it for a while, just to get my head back in the space and work out any kinks or any problems that my students might come up against when they're doing it as well. So that's me being an overthinker and a teacher. And one of the first things I learned in teaching college is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I like to plan ahead. This is an Easter video inspired by James Luke Burke Creative, using his stamp set and just changing the faces into these cracked eggs. So it's a bit kooky, but I quite like the effect. This is a page, again you will see on my art journal channel, with using distress oxide sprays, and it'd be really interesting for you to go back and have a look at that video. Because you'll notice when I first did the video, the background was really quite bright and vibrant, and you can see now how it's changed to be a lot chalkier. It's an effect, like, I like the effect. Personally, I would prefer it to stay nice and bold. Some people love this effect. So it's just been put over modelling paste. I painted it black, put the modelling paste down, then sprayed over the top. So it's a nice effect, and then just stamped on some vintage paper. This is a piece that was inspired again by the Dina Wakley Collage Collective. A piece down here is actually out of the book, and then I continued the colour scheme. And what I love about using that book is Dina Wakley obviously uses her own materials when she creates. So if you are someone like me who's a bit of a tragic and owns all the paint colours, because I just do love the range of colours she's got, you can match them up really easily, so you can sort of get this seamless effect. This is a quick page using a Dusty Attic mandala stencil, which I've just extended out and did a bit of a quote about what you seek is seeking you in the background, which I thought was a good thing to remind myself. This page was playing around with some mark making. I've got a video coming up with this page in the near future, and it's just again that simple technique of putting the collage medium down, putting down some collage and putting some paints over the top. The thing I really liked about it was these viney leaves are from the Tim Holtz mark making set, and just going around them really loosely with the Posca paint pens in the green really popped them out from the background. This is me playing with my new Dina Wakley, the pastel-y colours that she came out with, and the new scribble sticks, so the metallic scribble sticks that came out in the new range. And I really like the colours. I like that even though they're sort of pastel-y, they've still got an intensity of colour. But it's a very soft page and a very un-me page. So I've tended to use these colours to blend in the other colours, or to pale them out a little bit. I haven't used them fully on the page on their own, so that's my challenge, to do another page like this and use those colours to their full advantage. This page I absolutely hate. It's the one page in this journal that really bugs me, and I will probably go back at some stage and do it again. It had so much potential to begin with, and I was going to do a reduction painting, so I had a really nice collage in the background, and then I painted over a mask. I can't even remember what the mask was now. I think it was flowers with a dark blue, and it just didn't work. So then I decided I would get out the unicorn paste, which again, when I've put it on other pages, has been really brilliant, and it looked awful. And then I tried stamping over it in white, and just everything I was doing was just making this page worse. So I had just got the Art by Mylene die cut page, and I popped some of those out and put them on the page, and it's just not me. And I think it really bugs me because I know what's underneath it, and I know that it had potential to begin with, and I really buggered it up. So yes, that's the page will not be mentioned. This is me playing around with that collage technique I do a lot, but instead of tearing up the pages randomly, I actually cut them into strips and did a more linear collage, which I quite like. And then again, using parts from the Collage Collective, cut out some of the circles, went over with the Stabilo Oil pencil, just to make it sort of blend it in together. I think I did that page straight after I'd done this page, so while it wasn't perfect, it was a huge improvement from the page before. This is me practicing again before teaching some class. The next few pages are me practicing. I taught my first full day art journaling class, where all the students got a 6x6 journal like this, and we explored lots of different techniques. And again, to get myself into the frame and just to see what worked, what didn't, to make sure that the class supplies that I was bringing along would work, I worked on this page, and I really loved it. And it's the friends we meet along the way that help us appreciate the journey. Find your tribe, love them hard. And when I put this into the 100-day project, one of the quotes I said on Instagram was the fact that I really appreciated all the people who were supporting me with all the nice comments and just the encouragement to keep going. So this is dedicated to you guys, this page. This again was me practicing with doing magazine collage, which is one of the things that people in the class really wanted to do. And I was just struggling with, most of the time when I've done magazine collages, I've done them in a sort of A4 size, or the large Dilutions journal size. So trying to reduce it down into a small journal. So I quite like it, but I like it on a larger scale, I think. This page was just leftover paints in the background, and they went a bit, they mixed the colours somewhat, and I made the mistake of putting this purple on. Purple is a really hard colour because it can be warm and it can be cool, and if you put it with the wrong combination of colours, it just looks odd, which it did in the background. So I've got this Chapter stencil, which is a 6x6 stencil, which is a combination of a stencil and a mask, which I put over so I could see some of the background, but it blocked some of it out. And it was a day that was one of those days, so the message on it was just perfect, and just simply went round with some white pen to highlight the words and some scribbly journaling. These next 2 pages I love, and they're 2 pages I've done for my design team responsibilities for Scrap FX. So this beautiful stencil and this keyhole silhouette are both from Scrap FX, which is an Australian company, and I'll put the link in my description box below. Using the Dina Wakley botanical masks in the background and all her paints in the background. So I'm on a real roll with using this botanicals mask. I love it, and it just builds up beautifully. And I had this Alice keyhole sitting there, and I just thought, oh, that'd be cool, you know, Alice going through the garden, and you sort of got Alice here sort of getting larger or getting smaller depending on how you think about it, and then just the focus over on this page. And the quote is from Alice in Wonderland: "In the Garden of Memory, in the Palace of Dreams, is where you and I shall meet." And I like the fact that both the little Alice and the free Alice will meet at some stage. So once I'd done that, I loved how it came together. So I was inspired to do a mermaid one because I had this mermaid keyhole as well. And I realised when I turned the stencil in a different angle, it looked like she was diving down into the water. So it's exactly the same approach, exactly the same technique as the previous page. Just change the angle of the stencil, change the colour palette. And instead of doing the greens, I did all the blues. This uses every blue in the Dina Wakley range in here. It's just sort of mixed. The stenciling in the background is also, I didn't clean the sponge and I loaded it up with a few different colours, so you've got these sort of mottled different colours in the background. And the quote is, "She is a mermaid, but approach her with caution. Her mind swims at a depth most would drown in," which I really loved as well. This again is me going back to that very first collage. You can see it sort of repeats over, tearing up different bits and pieces and practicing. And this is practicing for the class again, just in the fact that stamping out on deli paper, or stenciling on deli paper and laying it over and laying stencils on top. I've also started stenciling with white and with this Payne's Grey. And again, in one of my other journals, I think I've done a flip through of it. I think the large Dilutions journal, which will be in my channel, you can see those pages where I started doing this, and I really love the contrast. This is also an inky quill, if anyone follows her channel, technique of where she highlights the stenciled image with a white pen, and it really makes it pop out of the page. This page I love, and this is me playing around with an abstract painting technique inspired by Ray Missingham. I think she's on Instagram. She's very famous. She's really good at mark making. She was part of the Creative Jumpstart at the very start of the year. So if you were involved with that, you can go back and see her video where this is from, or inspired by, sorry. And it was just me playing with layering up inks, with playing with some neons, and playing with all the different things my Stabilo oil pencil could do. So there is a bonus video that's gone up on my channel, I think last week from when this is going to be posted, exploring all the magic of the Stabilo oil pencil. If you haven't come across that pencil before, go back and watch that video, because it's called a magic pencil for a reason. This again is me practicing for that class I was teaching. One of the spreads, and I've done variations of this page in a few of my previous journals and a few of my previous videos. Usually I've just done like daisies with white marks, and I just want to explore on this page of using different coloured paint pens, because in the class that I was teaching, while I've got a wide variety of Posca paint pens for my students to use, I didn't have a lot of whites. So I wanted them to be able to create flowers of their own making and make sure it actually looked okay. So I was playing around with that. This is a really simple page, and this was done in the video for the Stabilo oil pencil, and you can see how simple it was. I actually did this video in real time. and so simple. And for people who say I can't draw faces or I can't draw portraits, please go and have a watch of it. This isn't by any stretch of the imagination a perfect portrait. It really isn't. It's very whimsical and very simple, but you can see how simple it is to get something that looks relatively human, alien-esque like, depending on how big or small you make the eyes. So yeah, it's not me, but I love the fact it's black and white. I love the fact I've got white space on it, and it just makes me happy to look at it. This page again went through a bit of a process, and the video for this will be up in a month or two's time. Again, I had a really lovely collage in the background, and then I just got stupid with paints over the top, layering them. And one of the reasons is I had this white liquid acrylic. Now I've been using the liquid acrylics in lots of different colours, and they've been fabulous, but I put this on and it was almost translucent. It just did nothing. So I'd sort of put that on, and that kind of dulled down my background. So then I got out some white paint, watered down, put that over, and that was worse. Then I put colour over the top, so you really can't see much of the stuff that was in the background to begin with. But I quite liked it, and I got to use my Frida napkin, which I like, and I like the quote that went with it. So it tied together in the end, but it definitely had a hot mess stage for a large while in its process. This is my final page in my journal, and I was again just playing around with layering stencils, going through with some blues and greens, excuse me, using the Dina Wakley collage face and going over that with the scribble sticks. I like going back and recolouring them just to make them pop out from the background, and then just sticking down one of her quotes. And I really like this as sort of a final page of my journal. Dreams don't work unless you do. What would you do if you weren't afraid? It's a good question to sort of consider before I go on to my next journal. So that is my little journal. Didn't take too long to complete. Thank you so much for watching this flip through, and stay tuned because I'm going to be another flip through hopefully next week when I finish my my junk journal. I've only got a few pages left to do with that. Okay, bye for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.